Well, hi, good morning. I get to see a different look of everybody. I mean, I got to see John in a suit. That was his opening picture. I enjoyed that. Dick Gabriel even has that smirk even on his static picture. So this has been new, but I wanted to thank everybody for, getting on the call and showing up today. I know it's crazy times. But it means a lot. And I want to thank Minge for always tag teaming with us on this day. It's a special day for us because, it's been a long 11 months for spring sports and for the softball team. So, really excited just to get out there on Friday and to play somebody other than ourselves. I'd be remiss if I did not thank the people who've gotten us to this point. I would like to thank Byron Hatch in the SEC office for his leadership, just getting us to the point where the SEC is opening up on time. I'd like to thank Jim Madalino, our head athletic trainer, for all of his wisdom and guidance through all of this. And my trainer, Brianna, I never called that, Bri Papato, because they've really kept us safe through this entire time and the decisions they make and the hard work. They're accessible all the time and doing great things for us. I'd also like to thank our strength coach, Ryan DeVrent, and our nutritionist, Monica Fowler. They've been the people who have really kept our team together through their guidance and their energy and all the work that they've put in during the extended off periods when coaches aren't allowed to have contact with the players. And our administration in the BBN, it's such tough times for everybody financially and just everything going on. And I want to thank for their continued support of women's athletics, everything the BBN puts us to get us to this point, because without them and everything they do for us, we would not be able to continue to play softball. So very grateful for that. Thankful for my team. I'll tell you, they have showed so much self-discipline, very proud of them through the extended periods. We obviously we're going to start traveling more. So I don't know what this means for us in terms of health, but we did not have one positive COVID case during the off season, which I thought was quite remarkable, showed their commitment to and self-discipline, staying out of things, and also their commitment they had to staying in shape. I mean, I heard so many stories about it. I was like, people who wanted to go out, work, hit, they were like, hey, my cousin's boyfriend's friend has a warehouse that I can go hit some balls in, and I can go hit in some open field out there somewhere and throw balls and stuff. And it took a lot of self-discipline and just desire to get out there and stay in shape when they weren't in Lexington. So with all that said, we are open up on Friday. So some great news. All that other stuff is passed, hopefully, and looking forward to answering any questions you might have.
Okay, if you have a question, you can go ahead and use the raised hands feature, or you send me a chat, one of the two. They both work. And as soon as we have a question, we'll start it off. All right, let's start with John Wong.
Hey, Rachel, I'll hit you with this right out of the gate. Even with this being a difficult year, Oklahoma City is always the goal for your team. And it seems like that the way the tournament's set up, it's so important to get a good seed, one of the top 8. That puts a little bit more pressure on you to win and win big and win early. Can you talk about the preparation and trying to kind of hit the ground running?
Yeah, you're dead on. I should put you on the coaching staff, because that's the key this year. It's, we have a great SEC schedule. If you see everyone we're playing, they're in the top in the SEC. So that will give us, those wins will give us the points that we need to, hopefully host a regional and a super regional even. But then in the preseason, it's so important that you get your wins quick because you don't know what's going to happen. Our team's going to shut down. Does weather shut you down? All those sorts of things. And you need to have those wins also to have a strong postseason resume. So it makes the preparation a little different this year because, you have people who are pre-peak, like all the younger players, and then you have your returners who have a little, who have more of the experience that you need to make the deep run. Well, this is a very interesting team for us because the only infielder that we're returning to her natural position is Mallory Payton. Well, I don't even know if it's natural, but it's natural in college. And luckily she can play everything in the infield. Kayla Kowalik got her time behind the dish last year, but prior to that, she had seen quite a bit of time in the outfield, even though she's an outstanding catcher. And other than that, everybody's going to be pretty much brand new from on the college stage. We're going to have to focus on winning, get as much experience on the field as we can. And it makes it difficult for some of the freshmen who have gotten in here to get some early playing time that we generally like to get them off the bench. So it's a very unique year. Fortunately, we have a selfless team and they understand they picked Kentucky to go to the postseason. So hopefully we'll be able to stay together over these 3 weeks just from a teamwork standpoint and keep pushing when SEC play starts.
All right, we'll go to Dick Gabriel and then Larry Vaught on deck.
Good morning, Coach. Can you hear me? I have a new microphone. Are you hearing me?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
Okay. You mentioned Minge a minute ago, and when he got here, he immediately started using the hashtag Omaha and talking about the World Series because they really hadn't done that here. And I'm wondering, given the recent success and the fact that your program has been to the World Series, is that something you all talk about? Is it a constant reminder? Is Oklahoma City a constant topic?
For sure. I mean, that's why you pick Kentucky. You don't come to Kentucky if you don't want to be in the World Series, if you don't want to put in the time and the effort and the work to winning an SEC championship, to going to the World Series. And so you have to be able to say it, and you have, in order to do it, and you have to believe that you can get there. And that's the thing that continues to push our team. Win or lose, that is always the goal. And that's why they worked so hard in the off season, is because that dream of going to Oklahoma City is still, that carrot is still dangling out there. Without that, I don't think, most people wouldn't work out on their own. They wouldn't do everything that you had to do in COVID. At the end of the day, nobody likes getting up at 6 a.m. and lifting, and nobody likes putting in all the time or watching what you're eating or, lifting the amount of weight that they have to lift on a daily basis. You do that because you want to go to Oklahoma City or to, Oklahoma City, to go to Omaha. That's why you do what you do. So as coaches, we would be remiss if we didn't keep that dream alive.
Larry?
Yeah, thanks, Chris, for all your help this morning. Sorry, I'm having so much technology issues here, but it just goes with my age. But Rachel, what do you kind of envision for Autumn's role this year?
That's actually a great question. So Autumn, of course, has an outstanding personality. She's an outstanding leader and has been her entire time she's been in Lexington, and that certainly is the case this year. She is the elder, on the group, so that's really helpful. She knows how to win on the national stage, but also Autumn has done a tremendous job in the off season, really increasing her offensive power numbers. So I envision, when Autumn's not on the mound, she is a good defender, but I don't think she'll necessarily be on the field unless we need to move Mallory somewhere. But I look for Autumn to get a significant number of at-bats and be in the meat of our order.
Has she improved as a pitcher, do you think?
Well, Autumn's always had tremendous command. So I think she's done a good job of really increasing her effectiveness of her off-speed pitches, which is something that was a big goal of hers. And I think she's done a good job with that. She's put in a lot of time over the past few months. She was steadily one of our hardest workers the entire time. So I feel like that she's made that sort of an upgrade, and I anticipate she'll be a major anchor for us moving forward.
Josh Sullivan, Herald Leader.
Hi, Coach. Some other coaches from programs have mentioned that one of the biggest challenges during the pandemic revolves around team bonding and the way you're not able to do that as much as you have in the past. What are your concerns as far as that goes with the team going forward?
I think it's different for different teams. Obviously COVID sucked, right? You can't, in the summer, especially teams who are here in the summer, ours is completely voluntary. We don't have the same team workouts. So I think it was different for winter sports than it is for our sport. I think our team obviously missed out on some of the stuff that we're, known for. But with that said, they're used to working on their own. There's a lot of alone time when you're pitching or when you're hitting in a cage or when you're doing those things. So you're kind of used to that. With that said, I think our team, with the limited opportunities they've had to do team type stuff, They've done a great job with that. And I think our leadership on our team has done a good job staying, communicating with even the younger people during breaks and stuff, just on their own phones and things like that. So I think our team's done a great job with that. I'm not concerned with that moving forward. Plus, when you're focused on the end goal, and you're not focused on team bonding, you're going to be okay. Softball in and of itself, being on the field, is a form of team bonding. And I think our team understands that. They understand that they've come together to be a softball team, and they understand that they're on a mission. And I think that's the thing that will keep us together.
Jeff Drummond.
Yeah, Rachel, Mallory was off to such a great start at the plate last season when you had to shut things down. Are you hopeful that there's maybe some real motivation or to pick up where she left off, or desire to get back out there and start swinging a bat again?
Oh, for sure. I don't have to worry about motivating Mallory. She's an incredibly self-motivated person. She's internally driven. She's got the ultimate growth mindset. She's always trying to accomplish something, and she's always working on something. And in addition, she's a very thankful person, and grateful. She just loves being on the field. And it was so obvious to me. She had to miss a scrimmage day. And I'm saying this now because we're on Zoom. I would not tell her to her face, but I guess she's on this Zoom. So I hated it. Like, she wasn't there, and it was just miserable because she's brought so much life to the field. She's energetic. She's fun. You can even talk a little trash to her and she'll give it back to you. Like, she just makes the day better. And so that's how I know when somebody's on her A game. And I'm just looking forward to her getting out on the field and showing what she's capable of doing.
Maggie Davis.
Hi, Coach. If you look all the way back to around this time last year when the season was, obviously cut a little bit short, what comes to mind all these months later? Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
What still kind of comes to your mind when you think about that? And then how does that affect your mindset going into this season, a new season?
At the time, I felt just bad for the seniors. It's really hard being a student athlete. You go through your whole life and you identify as being an athlete. That's all you've known for, from age, 6 till age 22, 23 when you graduate. And for most of us, the pro thing is not a reality. So it's one of those things, you wake up one day, you play a softball game, and the next day you just become, an average, normal person. And that's how you think of it because you've always identified as an athlete. And I think that's really hard. And then when you take the circumstances of having it just ripped away from you before you're ready for it, I think that made that situation tough for the people in it. With that said, I don't think about it a lot anymore. There's nothing we can do about it. Love the people who graduated from this program, and they just had to transition to being an alum a little bit earlier. And I spend all of my time and energy and focus on this current team. And I want to make sure that our current seniors go out and have all the moments and the experiences that they had hoped for. And so I think when you stay focused there, you have a good mindset, and it keeps everything lighthearted and happy. And if last year taught people nothing else, you should really, everybody talks about being in the moment, but you should really appreciate what you're doing, because at a moment's notice, it could be taken away from you for a multitude of reasons. And so it just happened to a lot of people all at the same time. So I think if you appreciate what you're doing in the moment, I think you're healthy and you're happy and you're able to move on.
Cool. We have time for one more for Coach Lawson if anyone has it. If not, we can move on to the players. For Coach Lawson. Dick Gabriel, go ahead. Last one.
Coach, could you talk a little bit about the SEC, which is traditionally pretty brutal, and it looks like it's shaping up the same way this year? And if you hire John Wong as an assistant, I'm buying season tickets.
Well, one, we do have a volunteer spot open. So John, if you want to come, I mean, you know me probably better than I know myself. So, I think you'd be good on the staff, but the SEC is going to be incredible this year. I mean, it's always amazing, and it's top to bottom. We're the only league that continually gets 100% of our teams in the postseason. This year is going to be a little wonky just because we don't know how the postseason is going to shake up with all the differences in scheduling and conference differences. But The thing that's going to make the SEC even more challenging this year is, think about it, they came out with their preseason poll, and we have all Americans who have been left off the poll because there's not enough spots for the number of outstanding players we have. This super senior concept is really going to make the league interesting this year. I mean, you're going to have 24-year-olds going against 18-year-old Aaron Koffel. And so I think that's going to make the SEC very interesting, just because the number of talented super seniors that came back are off the charts. So this is the first, the spring sports are the first ones that have this super senior concept. And so what you're going to be witnessing right there is a huge age gap. And so I think you're going to see some really awesome softball at the top of the older divisions.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time. And we will now move on to the player portion. We